I'm Takema Freeman. My first memory of Generation 1, it was like around Christmas time maybe. And I remember Mr. Mike and Miss Kinsey knocking on my door because they said they had been passing by and saw my kid in the window, my son Joel. And he was maybe like 2 or 3 maybe, I don't know. But since then, they've been like my family.
Hello, my name is Carla Thickpen Pratt. My first impression of Generation 1 was a very good impression. It was awesome. The after school program. The kids were going to Dotson at that time. And Generation 1 would pick them, they would come home and then they would go to Generation 1 to help them with their homework, which was great because after I get off work, I'm tired, and it was awesome that they would come home and homework was done from Generation 1 volunteers.
My name is Keisha Allen. I first heard about Generation 1 in the community. I heard about the organization after school where it was helpful to the kids, somewhere for them to go so they wouldn't get in any trouble after school, and they were helping with the homework, helping the kids out in the community, helping them straighten up the area, giving them like chores and things to do on the outside.
My initial impression of Generation 1 was iffy. I didn't know what was going to happen. When it came to the children going to Generation 1 for school, it was a different situation. I didn't know if they would get everything that they would need, but I'm glad I took that chance because it's awesome.
First heard of Generation 1, I can honestly say I didn't think they would be around as long as they have been. You know, you meet people and they're there for just a little while, you know, but they stayed around. You know, their commitment is extraordinary.
Did I think Generation 1 would last? No. I wasn't sure. I was nervous. No. I didn't think it would last because it was so new. It was something that we've never experienced before. I've been in this area all my life, and all we had was Douglas Elementary, Blacksher, and Dotson. That was it. We didn't have any extra. So it was new. Something very new.
Before Generation 1, my kids were not allowed out the house, off the porch, nowhere. And that's honestly, like seriously, y'all were the only ones that I trusted my kids. They were going out to the, cleaning up the area, going around, because without that, they couldn't come out the door.
I've seen Generation 1 grow from the little building on the corner of Sampson and Drew at the King Center to the building on Dennis to the church down there. You know, they built a school, and now after I was actually hoping they just get everything in one building so I wouldn't have to travel to different places or whatever. But I'm glad they're where they are. The organization is great. It's very family oriented, and over the years, we went from being just me and the other parents. I would say we went from really not knowing one another to becoming a family.
I have seen Generation 1 bring the community closer together. Our families are closer because we are always doing something together. Cleaning up the neighborhoods, taking our children places and experiencing things that they probably wouldn't be able to do. Camp. They love camp.
The mentor has been a big help too, because now they, like Ashlyn just had a project at school, science fair project. She went with her mentor. Our mentor helped it. Ashlyn won first place in the science fair project. Chloe's mentor she calls 3 times a week, 4 maybe. She's well oriented with Chloe. Chloe speaks out more because she was quiet. Sanaya, she had her mentor. Denisha's been having her mentor since Generation 1 first started the mentor program, and she has the same one. And actually, Miss Carol has oriented over to her being a godmother, so that's how much she loves Denisha.
All of my children have mentors, and every last one of them are like my children's second parents. I would trust my children's lives to their mentors. They've impacted my kids in such a positive way.
They know more about God from Covenant Generation 1 than they've taught me things through Generation 1. Church is very important, and because of them going and doing things I question them. They teach me a lot of stuff from Generation 1.
Generation 1 has made a difference in my children's lives because before Generation 1, I wasn't too involved with the church, because I wasn't, my kids weren't. And because Generation 1, I wouldn't say push the issue, but they encourage Christ-like behavior. My children, they tended to be more Christ-like. They read their Bibles, and now they will say, "Well, that's not God-like." If they see me doing something that's inappropriate, so I owe that all to Generation 1.
They have shown me what real godly people are, what people are supposed to do for each other, how people are supposed to treat each other. Education for my children is important for them as much as it is for me.
I pray that they're better than I ever been. I pray that their whole world becomes way better than I have been to be better. I want them to achieve more and go to college and be successful. Because I see Generation 1 leading them in the path that they need to go.
I would say that Generation 1 has instilled hope in my family and in my children. We've been dealing with Generation 1 for 9 years, and I know that 9 years ago, college wasn't a thought of my children, but now that they're 12 and 14, that's all they talk about. Going to college and moving away from their mama. And that's fine, I'm totally cool with that. I pray for my children's future that they can be as successful and as independent as Generation 1 is preparing them to be.
What 3 words would I use to describe Generation 1? God sent, excellent, love
Is outstanding, supportive, blessed.
Lovable, kind, dependable. I can go on and on, so I
I love it. My Generation 1 family.
We love Generation 1.